All right, welcome everyone. So we are here with Johnette Cruz, owner of Elevated by JC, and she is amazing. If you're looking for a coach, look no further. She is absolutely amazing. We at Macro Missionary and Macro Millionaire highly endorse her, and you're about to find out why. But Johnette, the first question that I have for you, and it's funny, we were just talking about this offline, but where does Elevated by JC come from? Like, where does the word like elevated come from?
So when I created Elevated by JC, I was trying to find a word that really encompassed what I wanted to do when it came to fitness, faith, and dance, because those are my backgrounds. Those are the three things I'm really passionate about. And so how can you in your life, take yourself to the next level in all areas of your life? And so the word elevated came to me and I was like, that's great, because you always want to try and elevate your spiritual life. And you're always trying to have a goal in terms of like physical and mental as well. And so that word just seemed to mesh kind of perfectly with the three things that I'm super passionate about with my life.
Oh my gosh, it's like we have the same brain. That's exactly with Macro Millionaire, macro big picture, and then abundance
Yes.
in all areas. So cool. Okay, so we're gonna get into about you and your coaching, but I'm so curious about this too. So, growing up, my mom and I always shared a passion for music, and that was just our thing, like high energy, kind of dance music. And I noticed that dance is really incorporated like in your spirit. Where did that come from? Where was this? How was that seed planted?
Ever since I was little, from what I can remember, like music has always played such a big role in my life. I have always either listened to music. I was watching music videos growing up. My mom and I, of course, love the same kind of music. I would be the kid in the corner as a child, like buying a CD or buying a cassette when you were to buy them and like grabbing the inserts out of the outside and then like literally reading things line by line. Like I wanted to know who the producer was. I wanted to know the lyrics. I wanted to know like where the inspiration of the song came from. And the music for me in terms of dancing just always kind of came naturally to me. Like growing up, we struggled. I couldn't afford dance classes. I taught myself. I literally would watch other dancers and stars and artists who had all these backup dancers behind them. And I would just mimic what they would do until I got old enough where I could pay for my own dance classes. So it just kind of came to me naturally for some reason. And it really has stuck with me my entire like childhood all the way through now.
I love it because, for those that don't know, Johnette is a very accomplished athlete. She's a bikini athlete with the National Physique Committee, does very well. And I didn't know that element. And I saw you like doing these videos and it was just like so energetic. And it was like you kind of like get your spirit out on other people. So I just think that's really unique and really cool that you don't like hide that light, that you let that light shine. I think that's
absolutely. And for a good long time, I kind of simmered that part of who I was for quite a while. I went through a whole season of people pleasing, and I came to a moment where I'm like, this is who I am. This is what I've always been, and this is something that I've always had passion about, and I'm going to embrace it. And so I've just decided to do that.
Yeah. So getting into kind of like your coaching, I don't want to speak for you, but if I'm maybe like a middle-aged mom or dad for that matter, and I just feel like my light is being kind of just shunted. Maybe I just feel underappreciated, or maybe I feel embarrassed to let that light shine. I really feel like your coaching program would be more than just like get me into whatever size I want or whatever. So can you kind of walk me through like kind of what is your avatar? I know that you help many different people, all the way from elite athletes to busy moms and dads, but what's kind of like that, not preferred, but what is your client avatar? If I'm sitting here watching this, what type of client do you feel that you work best with?
I think it's a client that is, has some goals, has some big picture ideas, but is just having some issues trying to accomplish them, maybe trying to set some boundaries. I'm trying to actually get to point A to point B just because of life. It could be, I'm a busy mom, I'm a busy dad, I have all of these kids and, I can't balance work and life. It could be I have some self-insecurity issues. I'm not confident enough to make those next steps in my life. Or it could be, oh, I could never be that person. I could never be her. I could never be him. And so I want to be able to step in and say, yes, you can do it. I've been that person where I thought I couldn't do something and I could never be that person. And once I got out of it and broke out of that shell, then things started to flourish and things started to grow. And so that's why I want to show people that you can go ahead and move forward in those circumstances, despite whatever you may be happening in your personal life. This is just a way to push through into those next levels. And again, to like elevate where you are in whatever season of life you're in. And so I feel like that kind of of covers a lot of basis when it comes to clientele. I think we all struggle with something, and I think we all have that in common. And so I think it's really easy for us to kind of work together on something like that.
Yeah, totally, totally. And again, going back to your etiology, or the name of your company with that elevated, you're saying things like breaking through boundaries, getting out from insecurities. And, those are all things that, you look at elevation, you look at sometimes in the valley. And I personally seen you, because we had the great opportunity of working together in the valley, and just climb out of that valley.
Yes.
And I feel like in your coaching program, that's really what the joy you're sharing. It's like, hey, I get it. I've been in the valley. Matter of fact, sometimes life might knock me back in the valley, but it's not where I'm at. I'm going to elevate up to that mountain, and I'm going to take you with me.
Absolutely. Yes. I always want to add that in terms of like encouragement and helping that person out, because again, I've been there many a times in my life with lots of different circumstances. So I do really feel like I can relate to people. I try to be as genuine and authentic and transparent as possible with all of my clients, because I want them to know that I'm real. I'm not this person on a pedestal that maybe social media can perceive me to be. That's not it. Like, I have issues, I have problems, I've been through it as well. And I want to be able to show people that you can come out on the other side.
I love that. Born leader. So what can I expect? Say I'm watching this, Johnette, and I'm like, gosh, this is the mom, the coach, the mentor, the business leader, the nutrition coach. She's got it all. How do I get in contact with you? What can I expect from your program, and things like that?
Well, it's really simple. You can just send me an email. I'm on all social media platforms. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. You can send me a direct message and we can get some conversations going. So basically I schedule just like a 30-minute discovery call where we kind of talk about, who you are as a person, what's your background, what your life has been like in terms of fitness, what your goals are, what do you see yourself doing in the future, like all of those things we cover. And then that way I can kind of get a good idea of what this person is specifically looking for. And then I can kind of go over all of those packages. And so after that, then I go ahead and kind of make some recommendations, and we have lots of conversations back and forth. I do have some standard packages, but there are times with some of my clients recently where we've done something a little bit more customized based on the person's lifestyle, because I want to make sure that I am meeting the needs for the clients. Like, no client has the same life. All of our lives are different. And I don't want people to be like, okay, I'm package A, B, and C. Like, I always want everybody to know that I'm here to help you get to where you need to go. And so we will work together to get to that point. And so once we do that, then we just go ahead and get started, and we start, figuring out, those small goals that we can attain right at the beginning in terms of, watching what you're eating, starting to create those longer, healthier life habits so that they're sustainable. I hate the word like having a diet and being restricted, because we all know, like, all of us can fail really quickly with that. And so I want people to still enjoy their lives and have the things that they want, but just make healthier choices.
Yeah, awesome. So contact, how do I contact you?
You can send me an email at johnette@elevatedbyjc.com. And then also I am constantly on my phone. So you can always send me a direct message on any of my social media platforms. All of my handles are at @elevatedbyjc. If you go to Facebook, you can also search me personally as well. I do accept friend requests, and you can just type in Johnette Cruz.
Awesome. Awesome. Very, very cool. So changing gears just a little bit, Johnette, and I know that, I knew that you would make a rocking coach, and that was on my mind. That was heavy on my heart and my mind for like a couple of years before you even. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I got to reach out to this person. And obviously you saw that light in yourself as well. So what kind of made you just take the leap? Because it's never, when you say, it's easy to say, hey, I'm going to be a nutrition coach, but then when you look at all the backdoor stuff and testing and learning, and you're going into basically, leading yourself to leading like a flock of people.
Right.
How did you get through that fear?
Oh, wow. And we've had multiple conversations where I was like, I don't know if I could do this. Like, I don't know if I'm qualified enough to do it. And I had that, self-doubt in me for a long time. And it was something I actually thought about for a number of years as well. But because of my current situation or my past situation, it wasn't something that I could fully pursue and have 100% support in. And so then I finally got into a season where I felt like, not that things lined up, but I felt like it was time for me to make that leap.
Sure.
And I just did it, and it's been scary. It's been filled with lots of fear and doubt, but at the same time, it has been so rewarding, because what I'm finding is, because of fitness, like I felt like I got my life back. You know, I have an autoimmune disorder. I've had 6 surgeries. I've had 3 organs removed. You know, I have been through it with all of it. And fitness kind of saved me from being this weak person that was so just like no energy, no self-confidence, all of those things, to knowing that I can accomplish things, although I went through all of those things. And I still am going through it, but now I can moderate it a little bit better. And so the bulk of it was like, if I went through something like that, surely somebody else can benefit from my story. And also I can make an impact in their lives so that they can also come out from the other side of it too. And so I think that mindset kind of outweighed the fear that I had and the doubt that I had for it. Granted, yes, the back end stuff, like I'm constantly working on the back end stuff. You know, I'm working on a lot of new things this week too, you know, to continue my business and to grow it. And I'm super excited about it. And so what's been really nice though too, is I've had a wonderful network of friends, and even like the people I'm coaching now, they were like, you're meant to do this. Like you should have done this years ago. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm getting this from people. It's so crazy. But like that, I just knew like I'm in the right place. The struggle is worth it. And the doubt and the fear and all of that. And then once you break free from that and you can move forward, like that's where you really grow. And that's where you can really shine through.
Totally. I love what you said is you're like, you know what? You kind of started to say, well, things kind of came together, and you're like, actually, no, they didn't come together. And I know when you got into the program, things were not coming together.
No, they were a mess.
I feel like that's what a lot of people are waiting for. They're waiting for the right time, which it's not going to come.
You'll never have the right time.
Right.
I even feel like right now I don't have the right time, but I'm like, no, this is what I've been given, and I'm going to push through it, because it's now or never. This is my life. I feel like this is the calling that God has put on me for my season of life right now. And I just need to push through all of that, because God's never going to allow this perfect timing to do everything.
Right. Because he knows there's no growth in that, you know?
Right. Exactly. So,
it's funny because I was talking to, I think, someone at maybe the gym that you train at. Mm-hmm. And this is so funny. She was like, yeah, you know, I saw Johnette. She's so happy. She's taking on these clients. But she's like, man, when she first started, she was second guessing. And so talk to me about kind of like getting clients. A lot of people, like they're afraid, you know, like, oh my gosh, and, you know, am I good enough? And, you know, they have that imposter syndrome. Yes. So how did it look like kind of like your first month? I know we set some goals and you're like, it's not happening. I'm taking this trip to Orlando. I'm taking this trip to Orlando. There's no way we're going to do that. Just kind of talk to our listeners a little bit about that.
Yeah, I really doubted myself, and I was really kind of intimidated because, you know, I have a social media following. You know, I do connect with a lot of people, but when you kind of switch gears in your head that, like, you know, you're doing it now specifically for, you know, what you do in terms of your income and your job, that puts a little bit of pressure on you. And then you don't want to feel like you're coming off too salesy. You're scared of like people not being approachable. And so I was just like, I'm just going to do it. And so I just started to create and have conversations with people that I have existing relationships with. I also, for some reason, got an influx of like new friend requests and follows. And so I was just like starting those conversations like, hey, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you supporting me in my content, and making kind of small talk like that. And then slowly but surely you're starting obviously to create these relationships on social media, and you're being social obviously on social media. Totally. And I think that kind of opens the door, and it's like, you don't have to sell something right away or sell your brand right away. It's just you're being who you are. And then eventually it kind of comes naturally to people. And that's what I have found. Like at first I was very intimidated by having these conversations in direct messenger and sending all of those things. And now that I've done it for the last month and a half or so, I am finding it's quite rewarding, and it's overwhelming at the same time, because now I'm waking up to probably anywhere from like 30 to 50 messages a day. And I'm like, oh my gosh, where do I start? But it's good. It's all good, productive things.
Yeah. No.
You just got to do it. You just got to jump in and do it and start having those conversations.
Yeah, that's cool. And I love what you say. Like, you know, a lot of times people are just so afraid. Oh, I'm not a salesperson. Look, salespeople died a long time ago. The old used car and wheel and deal and whatnot. To now, the new sale is just transferring your energy and belief on what you're about. And then people are going to be attracted to that. And obviously, weight loss, type 2 diabetes, oh my gosh, there is such a need there is such a need, and all our sales, or all we do is we satisfy and help that need that
Right.
people have.
Mhm.
So it's not this intimidating thing that I think a lot of people make it out to be. So
Right, exactly. Mhm.
and I love what you said. You just be you. You have your brand, that we talked about earlier, and a lot of people are going to be attracted to that. And someone that's, I don't know, maybe looking to, who knows, do something that really doesn't resonate with your brand. They might find a coach that's more suitable for them, and that's okay.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that is cool. And like you mentioned earlier, like I'm a recovering people pleaser myself too. So I am Jesse. I've been people pleasing free for a year and a half now.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah. But I think that a lot of people feel like, hey, I just need to service everyone. Where no, it's just, following the system, following the process, getting your brand out there, and people
Right.
are going to be attracted to that. So.
Yes, absolutely. And then there's people that have been attracted to what I do just generally on a day-to-day basis that I would have never even thought. And then, sometimes when I'm either like doing stories or doing some Facebook lives, I get these messages from people, and it just like, it's sometimes like I even got a message one day that made me cry because I was like, I had no idea you thought that about me.
Yeah.
That's, but it's like they're always watching. You just don't
Yes.
know they are.
Yes, you're absolutely right. People are always watching for consistency, to
Mhm.
say, hey, is this something that your profession, is this something that you're doing as a passion? And obviously consistency proves that, and consistency in your message proves that, and longevity proves that. So they're like,
Yeah.
wow, this person isn't jumping ship from this to this and this. This is what they are all about: fitness. I want to follow this person.
Right.
So
Yeah.
awesome. Johnette, thank you so much. This has been awesome. And I'm going to tell you this right now. There is big, big things in the works for you. So
Yeah. I'm excited.
there's big, big things for Elevated by JC and for you as a human being. So I just really appreciate it. I'm going to preemptively thank you for continuing to let your light shine on people. I can't tell you what a positive impact that has on our world.
Thank you so much.